Hi guys, Adrian Hormone Howe here in the live room of Gap Central Recording Studio, my garage. And I've just been messing about, just doing little bits and pieces. So I'm just going to change the camera angle. Wish I could do it on the fly. I have to stop and do it that way. You can see I've got windows there. There's actually two walls there with a gap between them, a nice gap which I use for storage. It helps with soundproofing apparently, and it seems to have worked. Got a little door in the corner there, and so there's two double glass windows there, one in each wall, and laminated glass. So and they're on an angle too, so that it deflects sound off on a different angle rather than straight back into a mic or anything like that. That's apparently what it is. Still got to clear up this area. There's my Vox AC30. Only a 30 watt amp, but gee, you crank that up and you need new ears. I can tell you they've got some volume to them. So I'm not sure how I'm going to set this up. Miss Squeak's getting me a new Katana 50 Mark II for my birthday, an expensive amp, but I really want it for recording, and if I do end up putting a live band together, they'll be just easier to set up your sounds without carrying millions of pedals and stuff, so guitar pedals. So but I can't let my AC30 go, of course. I've got to hang on to that beautiful little table I made out of leftover wood. I had another amp underneath there, so it's just to create space, you know, in a small area. So I've still got, you know, some sorting to do there. Union jack that I had laying around, and another one that Union jack was a sheet. I made these acoustic panels. They're just like, I just made a frame out of pine wood and then laid them down, and you just put you wrap them in sheeting or whatever material you can get. I got some like heshing material here I had left laying around, left over from another thing I did, and then you just put your insulation bats in, rock wool bats or whatever you've got or get, and yeah, staple them up. And I just used for legs, I just used these bookshelf thingies and just screwed them on. But they're good because you can have a drummer in here in this section. It's the same room, of course. You can have a drummer in here. That's my Gretsch Broadcaster kit, beautiful kit. And it's not too loud. It really does absorb and block the sound. These here above my head, they're just insulation bats wrapped in material, and I've just screwed them up. So I've got to move them over. That's how far I've moved these panels. As you can see, that the panels was right across here under these, so it really blocked it off. So I'm going to move them around there and just create some space. I stand in the corner. Only a very small studio room, but I'm hoping to get 5 people in here. I have had that many people in here before, just jamming, and it was a bit tight the way it was set up. Now it's a lot more spacious. But the good thing is I'm hoping to put a live band together and do that if I can muster the energy. And the dedication. It takes dedication, but I am warming to the idea, and so I thought, you know, it's half the battle when solved when you've got your own place that people can just turn up. Everything's here within reason, you know. I mean, if a drummer wants to use his own kit, they're welcome to and all that, but it doesn't have to. And he can set, potential drummer, the Oompahs could set that up how he likes it, and all the rest of it, you know, for rehearsal and that. Just saves a lot of effort and time, I think. And I've got a little aircon there, a little split aircon, so it gets beautiful in here. All these outer walls. This is actually a duplex, this house. It's joined on to the next house, but they're joined by garages. So there's a double brick wall, and then I put a stud wall in and put good acoustic bats in, insulation bats. Actually made by a company called Tontine here in Australia, made in Western Australia at Bibra Lake. Really good product. And this product on the outside of the walls is also made by them, 80% recycled linen. And I found it to be a really good sound treatment, you know. And I'm not affiliated to them in any way. I just researched and looked for a product. I always try and buy local if I can. you know. And this was just a terrific product. Anyway, and so I put a stud wall up and insulation in it. I then lined the walls with lino that I got for nothing off the place where I got all my floor coverings for the house from. They were really great. I said, oh, can I buy some offcuts off you? And they said, no, we'll put some aside for you. And they gave it to me. I had it all rolled up the next day, you know. When I picked it up, they were really great. I can't remember the company's name now, but when I do, we'll give them a mention. For local people, they're the mob that's in the old Challenger Ford place on Dixon Road there in Rockingham. They were really good. They went over and above, and I didn't expect that. So that was great. So I lined the walls with the vinyl. I just thought density, you know, anything you can get in there. And then I put this foam stuff on the studs, on the wood pine studs, just to help absorb vibration. That's the idea. It seems to have worked. So I lined all the upright studs, all the studs with this foam. It's like it's an expansion joint foam for concrete. So it's about that sort of wide, you know, and inexpensive. So I did that. I thought I'd give that a go. And then I put double gyprock, or as you call it in America and other places, drywall. I put double that on these walls. All these walls are double gyprock, and these walls are just the double brick for the house. As you can see, that's my laundry into my little house. The squeakers so these walls are just double brick, right? And then I just put this product over to deaden it and absorb, you know, stop any reflections. I know it's probably better not to cover all the walls in a studio. That's all right if you're in a big room. This is very small, so you just have to go for as dead as possible, which again I know is not ideal, but it's certainly not that bad. And I just put some of this up so sound still can go through these holes into this product. You can see the thickness of this product, and you can get it thicker. There's a double, I think there's a double to this, but you know, about this thickness. So so I just put that up there. Got a trap door there into the loft. Yeah, just to try and brighten it up around the drum area and that. This whole half, it was over half the room was just the drums, you know. I thought that's no good. Got to fix that. And I've got these power points here. As you can see, there's 4 and 4. I had them professionally put in because I don't mess around with electricity. And these things in the corner are just sort of a bass trap idea I did. Again, I just sort of sectioned the corners off, as you can see, with some pine, or it's actually not pine, that's a particle board or whatever you would call it. And then basically stuffed in rock wool in there, and then put the board in on the top so the sounds can get in and just reduce some of the bass in the room. It seems to have worked, you know. I only did those corners. So I come around this area. It's Georgie Harrison and the Beatles and stuff. The Panasonic aircon, which it gets icy cold in here, and it's a heater as well, but you just don't need that in here. So yeah, I've just put the tin around. You can see the corrugated tin and that, just for a bit of reflective, and I found it was a bit much, so I just hung that blanket there. You can do little things, not everything has to cost a lot of money. I did all this myself, except I got the wiring done, and a light there. I just bought that from Bunnings, a local big hardware chain. And yeah, you can see my US flag there. It's not just, I didn't do the pommy thing because I'm a pom and I think poms are the best. I actually like the colouring and the design of the Union Jack, and I do with the US flag. I got that from a dear friend. I've just put it up, but I've just used double-sided tape and it keeps coming down, so I'm going to do something else, think of something else. But I like it there, it just adds colour, and I like the flag. So patriotism aside, I am going to get a nice Australian flag in here somewhere too. I can't put any on that wall because when I use my trapdoor, this trapdoor up here comes down. You can see it's quite a size. That comes right down, and it comes down easy against this, but there's not much gap, so anything on there would just get ripped off. So that would have been perfect to put the US flag there, or even a nice Aussie one. But I could get something here, like a little one, you know. It just adds colour to the room. See, it's coming down. I might sew a little bit of Velcro on or something and try that. So I've made this a little drum booth. It's quite tight, but you'll be able to get in. And my idea is, if and when I put this a band together, I'm thinking of doing the Oompah Roundabout live band, doing my original stuff, and also good hits that match what I'm doing with the 80s, you know. Some 80s music songs and stuff like that. So I won't limit it to that, because there's so many great songs from back in the day that I loved. So yeah. So I've just on here, this floor's raised. I put in a stud floor, raised floor in the whole room. There's concrete under that, and then I put bats in, lino, then I put wood over the top, and then carpet comes right through under here. And this is where the drum area is here. It's on another raised bit of flooring, and I just put the lino on. And this is linoleum, or whatever you guys call it. In other countries we call it lino here in Australia, and well, I do anyway. So this is stuff I got for free, and it, you know, it was in pretty clean condition. And this was just offcuts that I had from lining the walls. It's all about, for me, it's all about density, and you know, the bass frequencies are some of the hardest ones to get rid of, or to stop escaping. So, you know, they'll go through concrete. So that's why I put a raised floor in, and I put insulation bats in there, and then sort of wood on it, and then carpet, which I laid the carpet myself. Come up all right, actually. And the whole room did, to be honest. You can play in here any time of the night, early in the morning. No one can hear you. So it's terrific. And this wall is towards the front of the house, and beyond that there's another big space, reasonably sized space, can't speak. You know, I use that for storage and what have you, but you could make another room, or you could extend this studio, and I have considered that. So we'll see anyway. The choice is there later on in the future if that's what I want to do. And that wall's got like drywall, double drywall on the inside. Again, the lino, bats, and then single drywall on the other side, and it's all painted on the other side and finished off. And so if I still had any problems, I could put more drywall on and stuff like that. It does absorb quite a bit of the sound. You can barely hear it out the front. It's like there's a small transistor radio in the background. It's amazing. And people said to me, you'll never be able to do it, you'll never be able to do it. And I just looked on YouTube, and yeah, and it's worked.